course,
Parang
of course.
kinakabahan ako ah.
Okay lang naman po, sir. Kasi explain din naman po namin. Right now, explain
Sige.
namin yung i-brief po
Sige.
namin kayo. Sige
Sige.
po. Let's start. So we are Project Lambat, low-cost alternative messaging for boats and aquatic travelers. So here's the outline of our report. First, we'll start off with who is the target beneficiary, and we'll discuss what we are and who we represent as Project Lambat and the rationale behind this project. And we'll also introduce the device, how a brief discussion lang of how it was made, and our testings that were done to to show that it's really working. And of course, we did some ocular inspection on our target beneficiary and the field test. And then we'll discuss the advocacy, which is why we're doing this. You, Sir Dave, as one of our stakeholders to garner more insights regarding this device that we're presenting. So our target beneficiary are the fisher folk community at Barangay Tabing Dagat in Bacoor, Cavite. So they are the residents and families rely on daily fish catch for fishes, shellfishes, established mussel farms on the coastal community of Barangay Tabing Dagat. So the population is around 3,424, and around 1,000 families of this coastal barangay are fisher folks. So we are Project Lambat. This is a student-led initiative with a mission to empower the local Filipino fisher folk community in the Philippines. And here's the logo. Actually, we wanted our branding to be very deliberate because we wanted to show who we are. So that's why the sail here represents the mesh networks that will help the fisher folk community, and the A in the project Lambat, in the word Lambat, is signifies a cell tower that the fisher folk community will hold in their hands. So if there's anything that the past year has demonstrated, it is the inadequacy of the tools and resources that makes it harder for the Filipino fisher folk to recover from the lasting impacts brought by the COVID pandemic. So we all know how hard it was over the past 2 years, and few solutions, if there are any, exist that are off-grid, affordable, reliable, easily deployed, and openly standardized for the Filipino fisher folk community of Bacoor. And with Project Lambat, we wanted to help these fisher folks so that their communication will remain smooth and seamless, notwithstanding the distance in the sea and the lack of cell towers thereon. So here's the device. Actually, we bought this device. We bought this device online. So it's a TTGO LoRa board with Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, wireless capability. And we also bought rechargeable 18650 batteries, cases. We had these cases 3D printed, of course, along with waterproof cell phone bags, because the device will be primarily used in the sea, and the soldering tools and lead to solder the OLED screens over here. So after a series of test runs, we were able to make the devices work in a stable manner. So this is how it looks like in actual. So the road test was done in MOA Baywalk area. So I won't show the video anymore because it's just a hyperlapse of us, a vertical line of us walking. And there you go. So as you can see, there's an app, Sir Dave, that we included in this device that you can download on your Android phone. So even without globe signal, kunyari walang signal sa sea, you can you can message your fellow fisher folks on your phone without cell towers and signal or load. So there you go. So midpoint to endpoint, and then back to the endpoint again. So around here and around there. So mga around 1 to 2 kilometers lang naman yung distance. But we were the primary objective was to test lang if the all three devices are communicating with each other. So when afterwards, ayan, successful naman, we were able to do our initial ocular inspection at Barangay Tabing Dagat. So I met with one of the fisherfolk representative ng Artemio and then explained our project to him, and with the help of an informed consent form in Tagalog, we briefed him about our device. So syempre, we wanted to make sure that they know their rights then upon joining the project, kasi they belong to the vulnerable population, so we don't want to exploit them as much as possible, and to ensure that there's an open communication going on between the team and with the fisher folks. So here's the field test that was conducted last December 3. We can let's see if can you hear the sound?
Wala. Wala siya,
Okay.
wala.
I'll share it again, sorry. Good sound. There you go.
So kunyari kapag na-stranded tayo,
Oo,
kaway-kaway
kakawayan mo
ka
lang,
lang.
oo. Kuwain mo lang sa ano, tapos patik ka na sa atin doon.
Kasi po sa laot walang ano eh, no?
Walang
signal.
ano, kahit may cellphone ka,
Opo.
wala siyang ano, lalo na kung doon sa lagpas ng mga danbato. Doon. Eh paano kung na-stranded ka, hindi mo andalan
Oo,
ka.
hindi ka makakagalaw.
Hindi ka makagalaw doon. Nakapundo ka lang. Si Artemio Sumalinaw, nakatira sa Bacoor, Cavite.
Ako naman po si Julio Soronga, nakatira po sa Bacoor, Cavite.
Ako
si
tayo
Junrel.
kasama sa ano eh.
Nakatira sa Bacoor, Cavite.
So ilan taon na po kayo mga
Ako siguro na sa 22 kasi 1994 nandito na ako nang mangingisda na ako eh. Yun ang ano ko, hanap buhay mula noon hanggang ngayon.
Ako mga 12 years. 12 taon. Kasi dito na ako eh, maliit pa lang ako, nagdadagat na ako.
Child abuse kayo.
20 years po ako. Kasi pumula na pag ano rito, dito na rin pa talaga. Mangingista na po talaga.
20.
So lahat po kayo, Baco or native?
Bacoor.
Dito.
Ay hindi ho, ako Samar ako.
Hindi, lugar na ito dito.
Pero sa ano, dito ako, parang dito na ako tumanda.
So, kamusta po ang kalagayan ng inyong pamilya dahil sa pandemya?
Mahirap din. Kasi di ka makalabas. Buti kung may marami kang pera pag bumili ka sagaran. Minsan wala hindi ka makalabas diyan. Hinaharangan.
Mahirap talaga, mahirap kasi unang-una, may huli ka nga. Ang pagtinda naman yung kalakal, hindi mo maitinda na maayos. Kasi lalo nung nagkaroon ng lockdown, isang lugar lang pupunta mo, dito lang. Sinong bibili sa kalakal mo? Wala. Gutom ang pamilya. Yun nga lang, nagtitiis kasi kailangan makasurvive.
Mahirap po talaga. Lalo na pandemya, mga pamilya pag walang kita. Napakahirap. Kamot na lang sa ulo. Yun po pinaka-the best. Wala ko talaga kita eh.
So, maaari nyo po bang ikwento ang typical na buhay ng isang mangingisda?
Ma'am, pwede ako mauna. Mahirap po ma'am ang mangingisda. Lalo pong may mga barkong dumarating. Kagaya ko po nung kahapon. Nangisda ako. Nabundol po ako ng barko. Akala ko katapusan ko na. Lumungoy po ako ma'am. Sobrang kaba ko. Buti ka mo. Akala ko katapusan ko na. Nakalayo ko sa barko na yun. Sa hirap naman mangingisda ngayon. Kasi kalaban namin mga barko eh. Kagaya namin, may kuya, naiiglip kami. Hindi natin alam may barkong padating. Pasalo na lang, bubundulin ka na lang. Napakahirap ang buhay ng mangingisda ma'am. Kagaya namin. Nakaligtas po ako, asawa ng Diyos. Ito po, tanda ko na to.
Minsan masiraan
Napakahirap
ka.
eh.
Minsan masiraan ka, hindi ka na doon ka na lang. Kung wala kang katabi,
Hindi ka nang umaga.
ikaw na lang doon mag-isa. Pag wala kang magagawa, sagwan ka na lang pauwi hanggat kaya mo. Sagwan. Pag hindi ka na nakauwi mga alas 5 hapon yun, susunduin ka na noon pagdating ng hapon. Kung makita ka, pag hindi ka makita, kinabukasan ka pa. Hahanapin.
Iya ko pwede mong silta.
Hindi na.
Hindi, totoo ho, talaga mahirap minsan sa dagat. Pero naman masarap naman minsan din. Kasi hindi naman puro ganun ang minsan. Kung pag kumita ka, masarap. Kahit anong hirap sa laot, pagdating mo dito, medyo tanggal ang pagod mo. Ang kinahirapan lang sa laot yung minsan kasi minsan hindi ka napapansin ng mga nasa laot na iba. Kagaya sa akin na nung araw na tinamaan din ako, nabangga ako ng Norway. Durog yung bangga ko, wala akong nasingil doon.
Nabangga po kayo ng?
Norway, yung malalaking
Drone
drone.
malalaki.
O yung mga fishing boat ng malalaki, yung mga talaga sila.
Ano po yun? Mga Pinoy po ba yun?
Pinoy rin yun.
Mga Pinoy din, oh. Kaso nga lang, kasi dahil nga sa wala kang wala kang siyempre laot, wala naman sa saklolo eh. Iiwanan ka naman nila. Basta-basta. Oh.
Ano po kayo nababangga? Hindi kayo napapansin?
Oo, hindi napapansin. Kasi minsan puyat na rin sila sa trabaho nila. Tumatakbo ho sila sa laot.
Nakakaiglip, no?
Oo. Ikaw ang natutumbok. Di bangga ka ngayon.
Nakakaiglip yun eh, mga ganyan napupuyat.
Mabuti na lang, nakalangoy ako pa ilalim. Hanggat kaya ko.
Ito may sa akin na lang, yung sa barko nga, tumbok naman ako.
Ay,
Buti yung bangka ko hindi nasira. Hindi sana magamit natin yan ma'am eh, kung nadali yan eh.
Mahirap na masarap ang hanap buhay sa dagat.
So, magkano naman po typical na kita kung hindi nyo mamasamaing tanong?
Una mo dun, Rel.
Minsan 700 one day, ganyan.
Yun po yung normal.
Minsan bibenta ka man ng 1.5. Makudo mo 500, parang ganun. May kita rin, minsan naman wala. Minsan naman sunod-sunod naman din meron.
Ano po ang mga months na kasalanan?
Mga May, mga ganun. May.
June.
Pag ganito, wala na. Pag taglamig, amihan na kasi. Paamihan na wala.
Taghirap ng dagat ngayon.
Taghirap ngayon sa dagat ngayon. Konti lang nahuhuli.
Ano po mga hinuhuli nyong isda?
Iba-iba. Sa akin ho, yung tinatawag sa amin dito, mga halo-halo sila, bansi, bisogo,
Parehas
tapos
lang.
hipon, alimasag. Yun ang hinuhuli
Kasi isa
namin.
lang naman ang lambat namin eh.
Ganun.
Parehas lang.
Ano po yung mga pangunahing problema?
Makina.
Sa mga
Makina talaga. Kailangan makina mo maayos para
Hindi ka
hindi ka maberya sa laot. Para automatic na makakauwi ka. Pag bulok na, nako. Lagi ka matitingga doon.
Mabubulok ka rin sa laot.
Sino-sino po mga kasama niyong mangisda?
Wala, solo-solo ho kami.
Solo
Sa
lang.
isang bangka, solo ho.
Hindi ka kasama.
Wala kaming kasama.
Walang kasama.
So, pag umaalis po kayo, anong oras kayo umaalis sa umaga?
Minsan gabi.
Gabi.
Oo. Mga 7, ganyan. 12. Depende ho sa oras.
Kung kailan ho ang kasi ho minsan naalam namin kung kailan nagpapahuli o gumagalaw yung isda sa laot, sa tagalan namin sa dagat. Alam ho namin kung gumagalaw ho ng hating gabi, lalaotan ho namin ng alas 10
Pag pwede sa araw.
ng gabi. Pag pwede naman sa araw, lalaotan ho namin ng alas 3, ganyan. Hindi
Depende
pareha sa
kung maraming huli ka sa gabi, tapos konti lang sa umaga,
datos ko.
lagi ka sa gabi. Pag marami naman huli sa umaga, tigil ka sa gabi, sa umaga ka. Walang ganun.
So, paano po kayo nag-uusap sa mga bangka kung kayo solo-solo kayo?
Wala.
Wala ho, kung
Wala ho.
sa medyo malayo, sinyasan lang ho.
Dasal na lang, dasal. Senyas lang.
Sinyasan
Kung
lang ho.
katabi man, senyas lang.
Mm.
Oo.
Kasi cellphone ho, hindi gumagana ron eh. Pag, lapit ka muna sa barko para may signal ka.
So, malapit po sa barko, doon lang may signal.
Oo, doon
may
lang ho may
signal.
signal.
Sa barko.
So, yung komunikasyon nyo,
Senyas
kaway-kaway.
lang.
Gawin lang ho.
Oo.
Meron, wala.
Pag tanong mong ganun, pag sinabing wala, di wala.
So, gaano kalayo yung distansya na nararating nyo sa laot?
Malayo ho. Kung
Sa gitnaan kami minsan.
kung ilang sukat ho ng Manila to
Basta, kunyari, Bataan, Cavite, parang nandiyan kami sa gitna.
Bulacan.
Oo,
Bulacan.
parang ganyan, nandiyan kami sa gitna.
Bulacan po.
Bulacan,
Kalimitan Bataan.
nakakarating.
Nakakarating kami dyan.
hindi lang ho namin alam kung ano kasi hindi namin alam kung wala kaming panukat, hindi kagaya mga Coast Guard may panukat yun eh.
Wala kami
Mga distansya namin, malalayo nga yan eh.
Dito sa pier.
Napakahirap
So,
mga isda.
palayo ko kayo ng palayo kapag
Oo.
walang...
Pag wala, palayo ng palayo. Sobrang layo, wala pa rin yun. Tulog ka na lang. Pahinga ka na.
Kaya na.
Almasal ka,
Wala eh.
tubig.
Wala na pabili crudo eh.
Mga ilang oras po yung biyahe noon? Halimbawa, pa Bulacan or pa Bataan.
Mga,
Dalawa.
ganyan. 3.
Mm.
Depende kung maalon o hindi.
4 na oras balikan yan.
Ano po masasabi nyo nung nakita nyo tong Project Lambat na device na gumana sa laot?
Okay.
Okay. Malaking tulong kung sakasakali. Malaking tulong kasi kung may cellphone ka, tapos kasama mo may cellphone din at saka ganyan, makontak mo siya kung ano na nangyari sa kanya. Malaking tulong yung tutusin.
Paano po pag may emergency? Sa tingin nyo po ba makakatulong yun? Ito.
Oo naman. O kaya, pwede, di ba sabi nito ni ma'am kanina, paliwanag niya, pwede kang kumontak sa Coast Guard. Pag nabangga ka, pwede ka kumontak sa Coast Guard para matulungan ka. Malaking bagay.
So, pag binigyan po namin kayo ng ganitong device, to Project Lambat, sa tingin nyo po ba magagamit nyo araw-araw?
Opo ma'am,
Oo,
malaking bagay na
magagamit
po
yan.
yan.
Nagamit yan
Magagamit
araw-araw.
po yan. Malaking ano na yung katulungan sa lagit yan. Kasi sa ganun. Mayroon kami nito, kunyari kami, nadali siya.
Huwag naman ako madali.
Eh,
Ayaw ko pa, kahit matanda na ako.
mari lang naman eh.
Minero
Mari
ka
lang
rin.
naman, mayroon madali.
Kakilala.
Kasama natin pare, nawawala, hindi natin makita. Alam ba, kukontak ngayon ako sa iyo. O di, pare, kumontak tayo sa akin ito. Hanapin ko, Coast Guard na lang. Baling hanapin na lang. Matutulong, hingin tulong na lang kami. Kasi malaking bagay kayo. Kung doon po ko sa cellphone lang po kami asa na walang signal, gagayan ito ng
Device.
Device nito. Makakontak kami sa gilid sa mga Coast Guard. Sir, tulungan nyo kami, may nawawala sa amin kasama rito. Sila lang ay mag-aasikaso ngayon sa lahat. kung saan na lang maghahanap. Sa amin maliit na babangka lang kasi mga bangka namin maliliit. Gaya ng malaking bangkayan,
Marami ang tao.
marami ang tao sila. Sa amin na so, malaking tulong po yan.
So that was the field test. Based on our rough estimates in for consultation with the fisher folks, we were able to reach Stanley Point in Cavite City. So the team was trying to test the range of the device without a cell tower signal to rely on. And based on our observation, we got cut off from our range between the two devices upon going further into the sea away from Stanley Point. So this was our estimated location. So this was the shoreline around Barangay Tabing Dagat in Bacoor, Cavite. And the first device, Project Lambat Blue, stayed around here. And then the second device was around here, around Sandy Point. And the last one tried to go further away, with to where there are no cell tower signal anymore. So here's our some of the photos during the field test. There. So what we wanted to do, besides creating a device like this, is to promote this advocacy where we encourage other like-minded students and probably some NGOs to help us in creating these types of devices to other fishing communities in the Philippines. So that's why, Sir Dave, you can visit projectlambat.com for more info. So that's why we're also interviewing stakeholders like you to garner more insights regarding the device and its implementation and how we can further develop it for future use. And we're also finalizing schedule for seminars briefings to senior high school students, so to see the feasibility on how they can replicate a device such as this. So before we go into the interview, do you have any questions, sir, regarding our device?
Actually, wala naman akong question pero na-appreciate ko lang yung objective ninyo as a company. Kasi alam nyo, medyo nakaka-relate ako doon sa mga ng mga fishermen kanina na in-interview mo. Kasi as I remember during one of our operations as experience namin in Sulu, yung mga ganung bangka kasi, yung mga malilit na bangka, they're really vulnerable to bigger vessels tulad ng mga barko ng Navy, tulad ng mga commercial vessels. Malalaki yun eh. Because during our operation against the Abu Sayyaf in one of the islands in Sulu, we have noticed na using yung radar, especially at night, hindi namin mamonitor yung mga malilit na barko tulad ng mga pinakikita mong bangka. Sorry, it's not a barko. Instead, it's bangka. Hindi yan nakikita sa radar. That's why they are so vulnerable. Dahil hindi sila nakikita. Kaya nga yung kwento nung isa, papalapit yung muntik na siyang madisgrasya. Because that really happens sa laot. Hindi sila kasi nakikita ng radar. Ganun yun, especially during night time. Yun ang problema sa kanila. Kaya maganda yung objective ka ko kasi yun, we will have a device to monitor yung location nila even though walang mga signals, no, walang satellites. Kasi another problem kasi when it comes to communication sa mga bangka, is yung mismong terrain. Kasi they are at open sea. Basically, there are a lot of interferences. A lot of interferences. Natatakpan ng either mga bundok or mga man-made structures tulad ng mga malalaking buildings. Like in Cavite, definitely, maraming mga buildings tayo dyan, mga nagtataas ang gusali na nakakasagaba doon sa tinatawag na line of sight ng mismong signal. No, kaya definitely they cannot get any signal from an open area tulad sa dagat. Mahirapan talaga yung mga yan. Kaya yan lang masasabi ko. This is a good project, yung Project Lambat na sinasabi nyo, just to help itong mga local fishermen folks natin, especially in Cavite. Maganda yung objective at we are willing to help. Sa amin naman, in my case as the commander ng Naval Reserve Center, medyo i-promote ko lang sa inyo ng konti. Under namin yung mga reservists. We are training civilians to become reservists. No, reservists. So yung mga reservists namin, yung iba dyan, iba't ibang klaseng trabaho eh. Even you yourselves can join the reserve force in the Navy. So marami kaming mga iba't iba yung mga namin, yung mga yung mga mismo mga reservists namin, may mga mga fishermen eh. May mga fishermen din kami mga reservists, meron din kaming yung mga operators ng mga nangingisda, mga ganon. And other professions. So if you are if you would like to ask for some audience for your lectures and we can help. I can volunteer yung tulungan namin kayo para marami kayong audience na especially dito sa Iloilo kasi nandito ako sa Iloilo, the entire Western Visayas ang operational area ko. Imagine mo, entire Western Visayas. So yung area dito is surrounded by bodies of water. So napakalaking bagay yung yung Project Lambat na yan. It can help probably not only in Cavite, but if it will improve, yung device niya will be enhanced further, probably it can also be helpful dito sa area namin, especially yung mga fishermen folks dito sa lugar.
Yes.
We can always have a schedule for our reservists for you to interview and makuna mo ng mga tawag dito, mga survey and other interviews if you want, ganon.
Yes, sir.
So yun lang. So we are willing to help kasi maganda naman yung yung objective. So okay sa akin as your guest resource speaker, let's see kung ano may tutulong ko aside doon sa sinabi ko sa inyo. And
yes, sir.
Yun lang.
Thank you so much, sir. I'll take you up on that. Maybe I can message you offline para para to schedule yung mga seminar if ever sa mga researchers.
Yes. Okay. Sige.
Kasi actually they can do it themselves, this device. Ito device na to, magagawa siya ng anyone na may idea how to code. Kasi you will just buy the things online na meron na the source code is also readily available for anyone kasi may app na open source na app that they can download the firmware for this device and then they can connect to their phones, so afterwards ma-deploy na kagad. Yung case lang 3D print pero otherwise the itself kung marunong ka mag-solder, magagawa mo siya by yourself.
Yeah. Can I ask something? Have you tried about the have you heard about yung yung tinatawag na offline map? Offline map. We've been using that actually sa during our operation sa dagat, no? Offline map. Actually, you can also use that sa pag nakasakay ka sa eroplano or helicopter. Pwede siya magamit. It will give you location, yung exact location mo. However, yun na nga lang, it cannot gives you yung it cannot send messages sa kung saan mo gusto It will just determine your exact location and your direction kung saan yung mo, yung patutunguhan mo. Ano yan? Commercial yan. Commercial apps. Yung offline map na sinasabi ko.
Ayos. Sige, sir. We'll take note of that.
Kasi yung nakikita ko doon sa inyo, more on how you are going to send SOS in terms of disaster, no? How about, yes, you have sent SOS, but how about yung GPS niya, yung giving yung location niya, where he is located, kung saan siya kung saan siya matatamaan.
Meron ding location capability. Kaya lang
meron siyang GPS.
May GPS siya within the app.
Okay. So not only just a mere messaging. Hindi lang yung messaging lang na magsasabi na kailangan ko ng SOS, ganon.
Yes,
It will give yung exact location ng mismong tao.
Ng tao, kung nasan sila. Kaya lang, the caveat is, kailangan, dapat within radio frequency distance signal.
Ayun,
so dapat, the more people that use this, the more effective it is. So, kaya ang namin is community messaging talaga for the fisher folks na when they go out sea together, so they can bring these kinds of device para if ever nga na may emergency situation or they need to talk to each other nga, kahit yung simpleng messaging lang or maganda yung dito, maganda yung huli dito sa part na to, pumunta kayo, yung mga ganong simple.
So they can also call through audio, not only through text.
No. Text lang.
Text lang. How about yung niya, yung may delay ba yung message or real time yung message? Real time. Pag text mo, same as yung text kasama.
Messaging din, sir. Parang siguro ang delay niya 30 seconds lang naman.
Okay.
30 to 40 seconds. As long as yun nga, naka-connected yung devices with each other. Kasi when we tested this during our field test, nung medyo malayo-layo na talaga, nawawalan din siya ng connection.
So SMS lang, you mean to say SMS?
SMS, yes. Within the app.
Pero meron siyang GPS para sa pagbato ng
functionality. Yes. So, you know where the person is kapag nag-send siya ng message sa'yo. So, kunyari, yes, go ahead.
Can that be possible na magamit din aside sa dagat? Yun na naman sa bundok. Pwede rin yan sa bundok?
Yes, pwede din siya for hiking and mountaineering, yung mga nawawala na mga nag-hikers. Pwede.
Okay,
that's
good.
Mga cyclists din kunyari.
But just a technical clarification, sir. Sorry, Junel po. Importante pa rin po ang line of sight when it comes to communication kasi sa open sea kaya mas malayo yung nararating na range namin kasi walang masyadong alam niyo na walang masyadong harang doon sa line of sight na tinatawag niyo kanina or tinatawag natin sa when it comes to the frequency. So yun din po, yun yung ang magiging challenge lang pag ginamit sa mountain yung yung parang siguro yung kung may harang man dun sa frequency katulad ng mga puno or any other distractions dun sa signal. So yun lang po yung parang maliliit, magle-lessen lang yung distance na pwede niyang ma-reach.
How about yung ano, kasi pag mamalaking barko na yan, tulad ng mga barko ng Navy, may mga tinatawag na jammer. So how will it affect yung ano niyan? Yung bato niya pag may jammer? Siyempre, mawawala siyang signal, no?
Opo, tama po.
Oh, so how can he send pag may jammer na ano, tulad ng mga commercial vessels na yan? How can it will ano be effective?
Actually, hindi pa namin natetest.
Yun ang mga ano kasi niyan yung mga challenge niyan.
Yes.
Yan yung mga challenge niyan eh. Actually,
Exactly.
sasabi mo, open sea, walang masyadong interference. Actually, depende yan kasi pag ang mga ano, mga yung cell sites nasa taas ng nasa tuktok ng bundok, definitely wala siyang interference kasi diretso yung line of sight. Pero kung titingnan mo yung mga cell sites natin nasa community din eh, natatakpan ng mga buildings. Depende 'yon. It will be ano kasi hindi yan yung ano kasi yung when it comes to ano kasi yung signal, hindi yan umiikot eh. Talagang dire-diretso lang yung bato niyan eh. Kaya kung may madaanan na mga obstructions, definitely hindi siya maka-receive. Oo. Ang sinasabi ko lang, maganda sana diyan if there will be a booster, signal booster ba na hihigupin niya yung ibang signal na ano para lang kahit na malayo na siya, pwede pa rin siyang bumato. Kahit na wala siyang nakukuwang signal, pwede pa rin siyang bumato. Something to that effect. Kasi napaka-importante yan because we're talking about disasters.
Yes, exactly.
When you plan for such situation, dapat you should test it in a ano, yung in a more complicated area. Wherein you can test everything kahit na may konting interference, how will the ano signal, how will the instrument react on it? Kaya pa rin ba niya? Mga ganon. Or pwede ka rin kasing ano just like the military GPS that we've been using. Pag nasa open sea ka, the more na maganda. Alam mo kung bakit? Because of the use of satellite. You will not use the local cell sites, instead satellites. Kaya sa amin sa military, meron kaming tinatawag na satellite phones, which is very effective kahit na nasa taas ka ng bundok, kahit na satellite phones. So na-test na yon yung satellite phones kahit na bad weather condition, umuulan, bumabagyo, okay pa rin. Does your device the same as what I'm saying about satellite phones?
Not really.
Mm-hmm.
Medyo pang small scale po kasi ito eh, pang
Okay.
Pang mga
Pero,
small scale fisher
yes.
folks. Yes.
Yeah, but if you are trying to improve yung technology ninyo, that
Yes.
is one
That's
thing
a very
I would
good
suggest.
idea, sir.
Yes, that is one thing I would suggest. Kasi we've been using that satellite phone in all areas eh. Hindi lang sa bundok, even sa kahit na sa aeroplano nagagamit namin yun. And it is not only used here in the Philippines, but also in other countries. Kasi I was deployed as a military observer for 1 year in 2009 up to 2010. I worked with the United Nations operations in Ivory Coast. It is located in the western part of Africa. And during our patrols, we are equipped with the satellite phones para kahit saan man kami mapadpad kasi we usually conduct patrols in a remote villages. Village ang tawag nila eh. Remote villages covered with mga vegetations, mga matataas na mga kahoy, mga ganyan, yung villages nila doon sa Africa. That's why hindi gumagana yung cellphones doon actually. But through yung satellite phone, it's very effective. talagang we can communicate kahit man napakalayo na nung ano. Kahit na walang cell site nung sa lugar, we can still communicate with our headquarters. Kasi even kasi we are just based from it gathers signal from the satellites. Kaya ganon.
Military grade sat phones.
Yeah.
I heard meron I worked with smart communications before, and meron naman silang some commercial satellite phones, yung the one that turns your iPhone, for example, into a sat phone. Na I think ang mga nila doon is mga seafarers. Yun ang target market nila doon. Kasi once parang magdidikit ka lang ng battery pack on your smartphone, tapos yun, magkaka-signal ka na, magkaka-satellite signal ka.
Yes.
So something, that's something to consider po regarding this device for future development. Kasi like you said, maganda din po yung idea na sinasabi nyo na magtayo ng parang a sort of tower na nagbabato ng signal to each other para maging mas robust yung mesh network namin.
Yes.
Na nasa elevated place. So sige. So, thank you so much, Sir Dave.
Thank you also. So, shall we proceed with the questions and answers?
Sige, sir.
I think some of the questions were already answered.
To formalize everything lang, let's go through it. Can you state your name and rank?
Okay. Name and rank. I'm Colonel Hilario C. De Vera Jr., Philippine Navy Marines, General Staff Corps. Description of main responsibility in the Philippine Navy. Currently, just I am saying, I'm the commander of the Naval Reserve Center, Western Visayas, here in Iloilo. Our areas of operation covers the 6 provinces of the Western Visayas. We have the Panay, Bacolod, Negros Occidental. Yon, yung mga area ko, and Guimaras. Ano pa?
How important is communication for your job in the Philippine Navy?
In an open sea. Of course, it's very important kasi just I've said, we are covered by bodies of water, no? And one of our primary functions is to train reservists, no? To train the reservists in order to secure our maritime territories, no? Especially here in the area of Western Visayas. So communications is very important, of course. We need a very effective and reliable communication equipment to perform our job, especially when we are patrolling the our maritime territories.
Right. So aside from the sat phone that you mentioned earlier, do you have specific communication devices naman po that you currently use when it comes to coordinating with small-scale fisher folks?
Yes. Aside from satellite phone, actually satellite phone is the last resort that last resort of equipment, communication equipment that we've been using. Because in the military, we have this so-called tactical radios. Tactical radios are very effective because we just based from the existing cell sites that we have in coordination, of course, with Globe, Smart, and other telecommunications company. So we also use their cell sites. That's why it becomes convenient for us when we communicate with our counterparts or with other units that we have in the armed forces.
What's your usual workaround naman po when it comes to communication disruptions, especially during emergencies?
It depends kasi if the area is just near in our location, we usually use the ICOM. ICOM are also one of the communication equipment that we have. Actually, yung iba commercial na commercial ICOM.
What's that, sir? Sorry.
Commercial.
ICOM?
Sorry?
ICOM? What's that, sir? ICOM.
Actually, it's a brand. Yung ICOM is a brand.
It's a brand.
It's a small radio, parang rubber ducky ang tawag ng iba no? Yung maliliit lang like na may antena.
May antena, I see.
Oo.
Yes.
Ang tinatawag nga namin na rubber ducky kasi maliliit lang na Pero yung, di ba yung rubber ducky, di ba sa ano yan?
Sa
pag naliligo ka.
Pag naliligo, yes.
Yun ang kadalasan tawag namin sa kanya Kasi maliit lang, very very handy. Tapos ano lang, in just a short range, about let's say in a range of mga 2 kilometers, yon yung mga small radios lang ginagamit namin, commercial radios, actually commercial radios, pinapa-convert lang namin to enhance its yung security mga security measures
para hindi ma-hack.
Para hindi ma-hack nung kasi tulad yan, actually that's very common to the barangay. Diba? Yung mga barangays, you would see that kind of communication equipment. We've been also using that in a short range of communication. Pero pag lumayo ka na doon kasi especially during disasters, pagka yung medyo tulad ng baha ganyan, we tend to use yung sat phones na para sigurado kasi pagka yung radyo lang, okay lang yon pag walang mga situations na tulad ng mga yung disasters. Pero pag disasters na talaga, we don't just rely with yung ganong ICOM. O kaya meron pang mas malalaki doon, about 1 foot yung taas nung equipment, tapos malalaking antena na yon. Depende sa range kasi, malalaking antena na. Pero those are no longer reliable. Pagka yung bagyo o kaya baha, mga ganon, those are no longer reliable. That's why pag mga ganon situations, na talaga yung sat phones na yung ginagamit namin para it will be a yung real time, it will be real time na marireceive nung kausap mo yung instructions, o kaya yung halimbawa may mga kailangan tulong, marireceive ka agad. So mabilis yung reactions, siyempre mabilis yung communications. It will result to yung mabilis na reactions din. Ganon.
So, yung mga reservice nyo po ba, do they have these ICOMs din, these radios? Na naka-connected sila sa inyo?
Actually, to tell you honestly, I've just assumed last October, at ang dito sa headquarters ko ngayon, we've been using yung ICOM lang, yung maliliit na radyo lang sa ngayon. Pero when I was in the field, in the Marine Brigade, particularly in Sulu, we have that satellite phone. Kasi mas nagtagal ako kasi sa field. That's why I can always talk about my experience in the field. So how we address yung mga situations tulad ng mga ganyan sa sinasabi mo na bagyo, baha, ganyan. Sa na kami, satellite phone na talaga.
In terms of the open sea naman po, how unreliable or reliable are cellular network connections? So like you said, kasi mostly dependent kayo on sat phones, no?
How reliable? I would say kasi we've been using yung offline map, yung sinasabi ko sa iyo. Using smartphones, it will determine your location kahit na hindi ka makabato, at least nakukuha mo na yung location mo. Kaya lang, the only problem that we have is we cannot send message for SOS if possible doon sa namin. That's why ang naman namin noon as a contingency plan, we use the tactical radios. Ganun ang Kaya yung mga cellphones kasi pagka yung smartphones, yes, it can help us determine our location, but yung pinaka-primary use niya to communicate, yun ang nagiging problema pagkadating sa telepono. Yung mga phones. Whatever, mas alam mo ba na mas mataas ang yung tawag dito, mas reliable pa yung mga cellphones na
yung smartphone. Yung
analog. Yung analog, mas reliable ang analog kasi mas malakas ang yung reception niya compared doon sa smartphones. Yan ang na-observe ko Kaya doon lalo na doon sa sinasabi ko sa iyo sa Sulu, bulubundukin yon, tapos it also surrounded by bodies of water kasi tabing dagat nga rin. Yun ang napansin namin. Mas gamit na gamit yung mga phones na tag-1,000 lang, yung ordinary phones compared to smartphones. Ang lakas. Kaya lang, yun lang, hindi ka makapag-video. Siyempre, more on audio lang siya.
Parang basic calls and messages lang.
Pero mas malakas yun. Malakas yun. Kung halimbawa, kung ang smartphone, makalayo ka ng, let's say, 10 kilometers from the shoreline, 10 kilometers from the shoreline. Hanggang doon lang yung capability niya to give you to send messages, no, or to give you yung anong tawag din yung for you to call yung kasama mo halimbawa sa pangpang, no, sa shoreline. Yung mga yung mga ordinary phones, it can take further. Kung 10 kilometers yun, yung sa mga ordinary phones, times 2 mo. Sa ordinary phones. Ganun ang mga ordinary phones. Yun ang napansin namin That's why in particularly in Sulu, we've been using cell phones like isang smartphone tapos isang yung ordinary phone. Meron kaming ordinary phone na ginagamit talaga.
So yun talaga ang
mas mabilis, yung ordinary phone. Ewan ko bakit ganun. Mas malakas ang niya. Yung pag-receive niya ng signal.
Pag-receive ng signal.
No, malakas.
Kasi siguro hindi ko magamit ng internet bandwidth, I don't know. I can only assume.
Tama.
Can you describe your SOPs naman po in terms of search and rescue and emergency response sa Philippine Navy? For example?
SOPs. Ang namin, actually, yung when we talk of SOPs, ito yung policy na sinusunod namin. Siyempre, whoever is nearer doon sa engagement site na tinatawag, siya yung immediate na magre-react. And then whatever he needed for the doon sa situation, yun itatawag niya sa mismong mother unit na tinatawag, sa mother unit niya na tinatawag yun. For us dito sa Western Visayas, yung meron kasi akong may mga stations ako by area. Ngayon, hindi ka agad maka-communicate sa akin diretso kasi yun na nga Ang problema, cell site. Kung sino yung una niyang matatawagan, doon siya kukuha ng magko-coordinate para on how he is going to to respond doon sa yung emergency. Ganon. Tapos yung mismong kausap niya na pwedeng makabato sa akin, tsaka siya tatawag sa akin. Ngayon, sa level ko, if I can already take actions doon sa situation, kumbaga kayang-kaya ko naman, sa level ko lang. I will make use all of my resources to address or to respond doon sa na yon, SOS na yon, no, sa situation na yon. Pero kung hindi, tatawag ako doon sa headquarters namin in Cebu. That is how we address yung mga situation sa kanya-kanyang lugar. Kung hindi ko kaya, hingi ako ng tulong doon sa taas. Ganon 'yon. Tapos yung immediate na headquarters namin, kung hindi rin makarespond kaagad, tatawag siya sa Navy sa Manila na. Ganon 'yon.
Chain of command na, sir.
And at the same time, ang ginagawa ko rin, isang ginagawa, kung talagang medyo kasi ang reactions kasi is very very critical. Time is important. Very important yung time, yung reaction time na sinasabi. Kaya ang ginagawa ko diyan pagka may mga ganyang situations, pagdating sa area ko, kung hindi ko na inaano kaagad doon sa taas kasi matagal. Kasi pagka inano mo doon sa taas, magde-deploy na ng barko 'yon. So it will take you about 5 to 6 hours. Ganun katagal 'yon. So ano na mangyayari doon sa syempre, kung palubog na yung barko, matagal nang namatay yung mga doon, di ba? So ang ginagawa namin usually, we have this so-called interagency. Interagency. And ang interagency namin is based from the municipal, kung ano yung nakaka-cover na area doon sa, halimbawa, doon sa nangangailangan ng tulong. Let's say, sa isang municipality namin here in Iloilo, kung saang municipality nakaka-cover doon kami na nakikipag-communicate sa kanila. So we made use of their
Resources.
DRRU, yung Disaster Rescue and Relief Units. Itong mga DRRU na ito, kami rin kasi ang nagtitrain sa kanila. The municipality provides yung equipment such as rubber boats, manpower, communication equipment, and so on. Kami, we just give them training. Yon. We provide them the training, the knowledge and skills that they will be needing to respond on different disaster or calamity situations. Ganon. Kaya sa pa lang, nagagawa na kagad namin ng paraan. Ganon. Pero kung hindi talaga kaya ng munisipyo, umaakyat kami sa level ng provincial. Yon, from municipal. We start from barangay, municipal, to provincial level. Ganon ang coordinations namin. Kasi if I will be addressing it using our yung line of communications namin sa military, it will take us a very, very long time to respond. Medyo mahirapan. Kaya we do it in barangay, municipal, then provincial if needed. Ganun ang pag-respond namin. That is our how we respond to situations. Ganon.
Tingin niyo naman po ba, taking all this into consideration, how can a device like this, Project Lambat, can help the Philippine Navy or even yung mga, like you said before, mga reservists?
Project Lambat.
Yung mga gantong communication messaging device.
Sa akin nakikita ko sa mga training, I would say it can help in our boost our training capability. Kasi nakikita ko yung device mo, I can use that during our field training exercises when we train our reservists. Pag umakyat kami ng bundok, syempre kailangan namin ng may magbabato kahit papaano. Pag nawala sila, may magbabato ng nila, ng locations nila. That will be very helpful for us during training. Pero when it comes to operations kasi, we have already different yung sophisticated equipment.
Na eh.
Oo. That are already tested. Tested na yung mga tested by different situations and time. So, yun ang syempre, by doctrines kasi, when we utilize some equipment, there should be a doctrine. Then once we have that doctrine, we evaluate in the in the operational areas to our front lines, to our units in the field. So if it will be effective or it will be responsive doon sa requirement nila. So for us, I would say yung Project Lambat na ginagawa nyo, that can be useful in our training. Gusto ko yun. Gusto ko yan. Okay yan. Okay yung equipment na yan.
Pag-usapan natin kung pwede tayong mag-brief sa mga
pwede.
para sa training sessions niya.
Oo, siyempre. Alam mo, we should always be open with developments like yung mga nangyayari tulad niyang sa ginagawa nyo, yung technology na dinedevelop nyo, yung Project Lambat. Kasi lahat naman starts from from scratch eh. Kahit na yung Globe, Smart, yung mga big companies, they start from scratch naman. So para sa akin, I'm always whatever I can help to improve yung yung project ninyo, it is an honor. Siyempre. Kaya nga, I would say, ako nga dapat magpasalamat sa inyo because you have invited me to be your resource speaker for the development of your project.
So thank you for taking the time, sir. Kasi alam ko busy kayo.
Hindi, okay lang. Okay lang, no problem. Actually, katatapos lang namin ng nag-closing nung isang namin, yung training, yung course namin, isang course namin dito sa about 5 kilometers away. About 2 hours away from our headquarters. Kararating lang namin kanina kaya medyo pagod ng konti. Pero okay lang, no problem.
Natawagan pa kita kanina.
Walang problema.
Thank you so much, sir. So, in terms of search and rescue naman po, for small scale fisher folks, do you think that this device will be useful?
Oo naman.
Emergency.
Oo naman, syempre. It can be useful to them. It's better than nothing. Ganun lang yun. Diba? Because it can save lives. Yun naman yung pinaka-objective. How we can save lives of those people who are in the situations na alanganin. Di ba? Tulad nung kwento kanina ng isang mangingisda. Di ba? Sabi ko nga sa iyo, hindi nakikita kasi yung mga bangka na yan, maliliit yan, hindi yan nakikita ng mga barko. Kaya talagang they are very vulnerable sa area. Delikadong masagasaan talaga sila. Minsan nga meron yung ano, nagbabantay ako sa taas ng barko ng Navy. Nako, kung hindi namin nakita talaga, hindi na baino nung forward observer na sinasabi. Kasi meron din kami, aside doon sa radar, meron kaming forward observer, yung nandun sa pinakaunahan ng barko, tapos gamit niya yung telescope.
Pillars.
Kung walang ganon, walang forward observer, hindi makikita. Buti na lang nakita, binusinahan. Naku, muntik na talaga mamatay talaga yung ano. Kawawa. Pag nasagasaan pa naman yun, na maawa ka na lang kasi syempre maglutang-lutang yan. Kung may mangyari sa kanyang ano, okay lang yung nasagasaan na nabuhay. Paano pagka ano, di ba? Nakakakonsensya yon. Malaking tulong yan yung ginagawa niyong project. That's very useful actually sa mga local fishermen sa atin. Hindi lang naman sa Cavite yan Of course, sa buong bansa. It can be useful in any place in our country kasi we are surrounded by bodies of water nga Maraming natin primary source of living ng mga Pilipinos are pangingisda 'Di ba? No, tabing dagat, pangingisda talaga Kaya marami matutulungan yung Project Lambat na yan. Ang kailangan lang natin is how we are going to improve the technology para it can be more reliable and effective sa paggamit nila.
So, nakuha naman po namin ang recommendation nyo, sir. Will you recommend using this device
Thank you.
to coordinate with small-scale fisher folks?
Ano
So,
pa?
after seeing how it works from the video, so yeah, I think na-mention nyo na yung yung
Yes.
improvements. So, can you think of other use case scenarios, sir? Na in terms of siguro for the future na to, for in terms of protecting our territorial waters and other small scale fisher folk in the open sea. Sa tingin niyo po ba it can be useful in the future?
When it comes to maritime protection, syempre nakikita natin kaagad mga sophisticated na gamit. Hindi. Kasi ang bansa natin, we're still growing as a country. So let us accept the fact na hindi naman lahat ng may kakayahan bumili ng mga equipment. Yung mga ordinary fishermen natin, they cannot afford to buy mga high-tech na gamit talaga. So talaga they will always be buying kung ano lang yung kaya ng ma-afford ng budget nila, di ba? And I know itong Project Lambat, it's more affordable and economical for the fishermen. That accept the fact na hindi kakayanin ng mga na bumili ng mga mas high-tech na gamit. So with that, it will be it can be it can serve its purpose of protecting our fishermen, 'di ba? So para sa akin malaking bagay pa rin yung nagawa ninyo. Kasi ang objective nyo naman is very focused sa mga safety and security ng mga mangingisda natin. And for us in the Philippine Navy, in protecting our maritime territory, I think we can utilize actually fishermen, local fishermen, to give information sa our human di ba, informants. They can use as our informants. Yung tinatawag na human intelligence, UMINT. Napaka-importante yon in protecting our maritime territory. Kailangan natin somebody will feed us informations. And itong mga fishermen na to pag lumalayo, syempre, makabato kagad sila kung ano yung mga nakukuha nilang information sa lugar. And your technology will be very effective. Kasi hindi para ka naman kaya ng Pilipinas na mag-produce ng bigyan namin yung mga fishermen ng ng mga gamit. Para ma-monitor natin yung territory natin Ito gamitin niyo The more sophisticated the equipment is, the more na hindi kayang gamitin ng mga ano natin, fishermen. Do you believe that? Yes, because yung ano ba yung pinag-aralan ng mga fishermen natin? Yung iba diyan, elementary lang naman. Oh, give them a sophisticated equipment. Can they operate it? Definitely they cannot just pindot-pindutin yan. Hindi nila kayang kalikutin yan na di ba? Kasi kulang yung kaalaman nila. And you need training, di ba? Para magawa nila yun. Pero yung sa inyo, probably I have not seen yet yung how it operates. Pinakita mo lang naman yung pero the way I see it, it's user friendly, madali lang gamitin. So
Long buttons lang.
alam mo yung mga fishermen natin, you don't give them complicated equipment. Ang kailangan nila yung madali nilang intindihin na klase ng equipment para mas madali nilang magamit. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Di ba? So with that, it's very useful and it can, just as I've said, it can save lives and protect our fishermen. The objective is very noble actually.
Thank you, sir.
Di ba? So para sa akin, I would recommend itong project ninyo compared to buying sophisticated equipment for them. We cannot still afford that kind of no, we cannot still afford it yet. Pero yung sa inyo, ayan, nakita naman na kanina, ginamit na rin nila. Madali nilang naintindihan, madali nilang kagad, madali nilang na-orient yung sarili nila doon sa equipment, how familiarize, no? Madali na familiarize how to use it. Tingnan mo, napaka naintindihan kagad nila how effective it will be sa paggamit nila doon sa pagtrabaho nila, di ba? Magamit nila sa trabaho nila. And sa ganyan, dahil madali lang siya, mas madali rin na para sa military, yun ang mas kailangan namin na kagad, makabato kagad sila ng mga informations na hindi na kinakailangan kung ano pang pindutin nila. Isang click lang, mai-send na nila. Dahil alam nila yung equipment. Ganun yun.
So, yun nga po rin ang goal ng advocacy namin is to have mga students din po to build these kinds of devices sa mga coastal fishing communities. Kasi we're planning to donate this, yung prototype namin sa fishing community here in Bacoor. So, yun po. So, in the future, sana may ma-convince kaming mga kabataan na pwede rin to create these types of devices para sa sarili ng mga fishing communities.
Yes. And if you need some audience for your information drive para dyan sa project ninyo, then you just tell me. I will be supporting your advocacy.
Sige po, sir. I-schedule natin yan.
Oh, sige, no problem. No problem naman. Oh.
Sige, sir. How about the team? May tanong ba tayo? Do you have any questions to Colonel Dave?
Ako din meron.
Go ahead.
Parang Korean Sino yan? Si JP? Ikaw ba yan, Sir JP?
No sir, si Mark po to sir.
Mike.
I'm also based in Dubai. Sorry sir, wala akong camera.
Are you a Filipino or Korean?
Filipino sir.
Filipino.
Bawal lang kasi yung camera sir dun sa site na pinagtatrabuhan ko. Bali, highly secured yung area. And tanong ko lang sir, ang research ko kasi, yung mga marine vessels, they operate at certain radio frequencies. So, internationally, they recommend 156 to 174 megahertz for marine vessels. And natingnan ko rin sir yung sa Philippines, we operate at around 155 to 165 based on dun sa document na download ko from DOT. So, confirm ko lang sir, DOT po ba yung nagde-declare ng mga frequencies natin for use of marine vessels?
For the military, no, it's not DOT. Ang alam ko sa DOT, yung Philippine Coast Guard.
Coast Guard lang, sir.
Oo, pero sa amin sa Armed Forces, it's provided by the DND. DND ang nag-ano sa amin, Department of National Defense.
Pero yung radio frequencies nyo po ba, sir, pwede namin ma-search online kung anong specific frequency? Because we plan to add features in our application. Pero for future implementation pa to, kuha lang ako ng insight regarding dun sa certain frequencies na pwede naming ma-detect since yung device namin is not capable of audio communication, but we can at least receive radio frequencies. So if we can detect that, we can convert that signal to a certain message in our application that will prompt our users, especially the fisherman, if another vessel with certain frequencies is within their proximity. So I think this is to enhance the safety feature of our device for our users, which are the fisher folks.
I think you cannot just connect with our military frequency unless you will be you will have a memorandum of agreement with the Department of National Defense. Kasi that is for security reason. Ganun yun. Maganda yung sinasabi mo. Ako, na-appreciate ko na yung sinasabi mo eh. Kasi, for example, in an operating center, no? Doon pa lang, if we have that kind of technology, doon pa lang mamomonitor mo na sa operating center, sa mapa kasi ng operating center, kung saan yung barko, nagpiping yun eh. Nag-iilaw siya. As well as yung mga bangka na sinasabi mo. That will be better kasi makikita mo kung may madadaanan o wala eh. Tama yung sinasabi mo. Ako na-appreciate ko yun. I know what you are thinking. Pero it is not that easy to use the military frequency for security reason. Alam mo nang ibig ko sabihin, unless you will be using that for intelligence. Usually, mga ganon, for intelligence matters.
Pero at least if ever military vessels came across with our fisher folks equipped with this device, at least they can detect them, sir, no?
I'm not so sure. Kasi hindi ko pa naman
May certain
experience
frequencies
yun.
lang po ba, sir, na detect sa radar ng...
We cannot detect actually, we don't detect any frequency around aside from our frequency.
May specific lang talaga.
Kasi may kami, yung radio frequency namin, nakatutok lang kami sa sa mga units namin. Because we are frequently communicating with them. Unless for some reason na kailangan naming scroll yung frequency around, kung sino yung mga pwede namin tawagan, pwede yon, pero those are just special situations.
Unless gusto nyo talaga makipag-communicate, sir, sa mga commercial.
And I'm not so sure if we can communicate with you. And we are not so sure also if we can if we can intercept your frequencies. Unless open yung frequency nyo, pwede. Pero sa amin, mahirap mong talaga eh, kasi close yung frequency namin. You cannot just communicate with us unless
detect easily.
Unless kami yung magko-communicate sa inyo.
Okay, sir.
Just like sa nangyayari sa West Philippine Sea, we communicate with Chinese vessel. Pwede yon. Intercepted namin yung frequency nila. Pero yung yung sa inyo, sa civilians, wala pa akong ganon. Pero it can be possible probably.
Okay, sir.
I'm not
But
yet
yung
so
sa
sure.
commercial vessel, sir, DOT po yung
Yes, when we talk of commercial vessels, yes, DOTR yan. DOTR, as well as the Philippine Coast Guard, DOTR yan. Pero sa amin, it's not.
Okay, sir.
For the military frequency, it's not.
Okay, sir.
Magkaiba kasi yan eh. Magkaiba.
Okay, sir. Thank you,
May
sir.
tinatawag na compartmentation. May compartmentation yung mga departments kasi. So, hindi pwedeng makipag-mix up kami sa DOTR. At yung DOTR, hindi rin pwede makipag-mix up sa amin kasi they have we have different functions kasi. So, with that, there are also different security measures that are being followed or protocols.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir, sa insight niyo po.
Yeah. I hope I have answered your questions.
Yes, sir. Medyo na liwanagan ako dun sa question ko po.
Mm.
Any other questions from the team?
None for me. Pero I just want to say thanks po kay Sir kasi syempre yung insights niyo Sir nakakatulong yun. And iba kasi pag nakakarinig ka ng explanation or story from someone na andun talaga sa field. So at the very least, na-open up yung idea namin sa kung ano pa yung possibilities na pwede namin gawin doon sa devices. So Sir, maraming salamat po.
Okay, thank you also.
I guess no further questions now. So thank you so much, Sir Dave, Colonel Dave. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Oo, walang anuman. Walang anuman. At kung may kailangan kayo, magsabi ka lang sa akin. I-chat mo lang ako.
Sige.
And I will always find time for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Sir
I
Dave.
hope na mag-prosper yung Project LAMBAT para marami kayong matutulungan. I know maganda yung advocacy ninyo kasi. Kaya let's help one another para mas ma-improve pa yan. Kasi it will not only be for our fishermen. Nakikita ko dyan, mas marami pa matutulungan yan. Yung
I agree on that,
ninyo,
sir.
mga
Thank you
fishermen.
so much po.
Salamat din sa pag-invite ninyo at ingat kayo palagi ha. COVID is real ha.
Sir.
Meron pa rin tayo COVID. Hindi pa rin
COVID
tayo-
is real.
COVID is
Oo,
real.
ingat lang tayo palagi. Oo.
Thank you.
I hope maging successful yung project ninyo. Good luck ha. Good luck sa project ninyo.
Salamat Sir.
You can go to projectlambat.com po to see the updates kung meron
Yeah.
man. And then
Actually,
I will-
nag-search na ako eh. Yung binigay mo sa akin link. Sinearch ko
Opo.
yan eh. Okay naman. Maganda. Nakita ko na. Oo. It's good.
Sige, sir. I'll probably contact you siguro later on para dun sa seminar if ever.
Sige. No problem.
For the research.
Just keep in touch.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Definitely.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Salamat din sa pag-invite
Thank
ninyo.
you.
Salamat din sa pag-invite
Of course,
ninyo.
sir.
Good luck sa inyo lahat at God bless.
God bless,
you,
sir.
Yes Sir. Salamat po.
Bye.